With the trade moratorium lifting on Monday and free agency set to begin on Friday, it's going to be a busy week for general manager Rob Pelinka. He's already gotten things started by agreeing to ship out Danny Green and the 28th pick in this year's draft for Dennis Schroeder, providing the Lakers with another ball handler, shooter and scorer. This move was reportedly made as a preemptive strike to prepare for Rajon Rondo's imminent departure to a team like the Atlanta Hawks or LA Clippers. Avery Bradley will be courted by the Golden State Warriors, Milwaukee Bucks and several under contenders, according to Yahoo Sports' Chris Haynes, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has opted out to test the market as well. These reports could just be a smokescreen to get the defending champs to put up something and retain a title-winning core, but the Lakers will have competition for Rondo, Bradley, and Caldwell-Pope regardless, especially as they prepare to re-sign Anthony Davis the moment he opts out. Anthony Davis is almost a no-brainer to return alongside LeBron James, so that process is really just a formality. But with so many rotation pieces up in the air, it's time to take a look at a few free agents the Lakers should have on their radar if they want to repeat as NBA champions next season. We've been hearing the Carmelo Anthony rumors for just about every team LeBron James has played on over the last few years, and they've only gotten louder since he joined the Lakers. But LA could be running short on wings soon, and although Melo won't come anywhere close to replacing the defensive loss of Green and potentially Caldwell-Pope and Bradley, he'd help in the depth department. It's just about time Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James finally team up to play the final years of their careers together. Melo wants to win a ring, and the Los Angeles Lakers could certainly use his leadership, experience, and clutch shot-making ability. Anthony recently proved that he was far from washed and that he's still better than most players in the league. Embracing a lesser role for the first time in his career, Anthony was a great fit with the Portland Trail Blazers last season, averaging 15.4 points and 6.3 rebounds per game. He's a minus on the defensive end, but he shot 38.5% from three-point range and could lend his scoring punch to the Lakers bench. The best part? It'd likely only cost Los Angeles a veteran minimum salary. If the Blazers don't bring Melo back into the fold first, and the Lakers decide they need a few extra warm bodies for the second unit, they could do a lot worse than Anthony. Tristan Thompson, a fellow Clutch Sports client, got used to getting paid on the same team as LeBron James. He'd have to settle for a lot less than the $18.5 million he made last season in the final year of his contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but if he were willing to do so, the Lakers could use his rebounding and defense on the interior. While no one really paid much attention to the Cavs last year, Thompson continued to be a double-double machine, averaging 12.0 points, 10.2 rebounds and 2.1 assists per game. Dwight Howard's future in LA is uncertain, and having another big capable of playing the 5, so Anthony Davis can stay in his preferred spot at the 4 wouldn't hurt. Thompson would have to take a discount to the $9.3 million mid-level exception, but the prospect of playing on a championship contender again, after spending years in irrelevance, might make it worth it. If the Lakers decide they could use some extra frontcourt help, this is one avenue they could pursue. In a normal offseason, Danilo Gallinari's value would far exceed the non-taxpayer mid-level exception of $9.3 million. Even with the salary cap staying the same as last year, it still does. But there are only so many teams who will have enough cap space to make him the kind of offer he deserves, and Gallo has already said he will prioritize winning over money in free agency. It's hard to find a better fit for a guy who wants to win than the defending NBA champions, so we can't rule out a favorable Lakers discount just yet. While Gallinari is best utilized as a stretch 4, the Lakers could play him as a 3, and they'd always have a nuclear option in their back pocket with AD at the 5, Gallo at the 4 and LeBron at the 3. That's the same kind of supersized lineup that gave teams problems throughout the 2020 playoffs. Gallo's injury history is a concern, given that he's only reached the 70-game threshold twice in his 12-year career, and not once since tearing his ACL in 2013. But he's stayed relatively healthy in his resurgent last 2 seasons with the Clippers and Oklahoma City Thunder, so for an LA squad that will be coasting through the first part of the season anyway, they could do much worse than a shooter, slasher and serviceable team defender of Gallinari's caliber. Lakers badly need a 3-and-D wing to replace Danny Green, and according to the New York Times' Mark Stein, they've already got one in their sights. The rumors point towards the Los Angeles Lakers already trying to make a run at Wesley Matthews as Danny Green's replacement. He recently declined his player option with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he could slide right away into Danny Green's role and provide his veteran leadership, experience, and great defense. At this stage of his career, Wesley Matthews is not on the same plane as Green, but even at age 34, he's still a reliable wing defender and three-point threat. Los Angeles needs reliable veterans for another deep playoff run, and Matthews is one of the better, more affordable options on the market. The defending champs could very well get away with a veteran minimum contract here, which would preserve their $3.6 million biannual exception. As the Milwaukee Bucks were getting torched by Jimmy Butler in the second round of the playoffs, Matthews must have been seething on the bench. He was the only one defending Butler well, but, for some inexplicable reason, he continued to ride the pine. It was a mistake on Mike Budenholzer's part that could very well cost the Bucks one of their more reliable two-way players if and when the Lakers come calling. Realistically, Serge Ibaka might be the best free agent on the market who would actually consider taking this kind of discount to play for a title contender. The problem is his incumbent team, the Toronto Raptors, may very well want to keep him after he helped them win a championship in 2018-19 and is coming off one of the better seasons of his career in 2019-20. With that being said, he and Fred VanVleet are both free agents. Kyle Lowry will be a free agent next summer. Now might be the time to leave, and if he entertains the idea of leaving, or if the Raptors aren't fully committed to re-signing him, the Lakers should jump to the top of his list. Last year, Ibaka averaged a career-best 15.4 points and 8.2 rebounds per game, while shooting 51.2% from the floor and 38.5% from three-point range. His athleticism and shot blocking have fallen off in recent years, but he's still a stout and versatile defender, as well as a useful stretch big on the offensive end. The real beauty of this kind of addition, aside from his pick and pop usage, is that he could play either the 4 or the 5. If AD wants to continue to deny his true calling as a full-time center, Ibaka can log the majority of his minutes there. If the Lakers wanted to unleash small ball with their secret weapon of Davis at the 5, Ibaka can seamlessly shift to the 4 spot. That kind of two-way versatility and championship experience would be invaluable on a Lakers squad looking to retool for another title run. His market should extend beyond the mid-level exception, but if Los Angeles can convince him to take a discount, this union would be highly beneficial for both parties. In addition to this, Dwight Howard believes that he deserves a bigger contract with the LA Lakers ahead of the start of the new season. NBA rumors have continued to link players with various teams during the 2020 offseason. This update will be covering Dwight Howard's comments about his future contract with the LA Lakers. Howard recently won his first ever NBA championship with the LA Lakers in the Orlando bubble. The 34-year-old was an important role player for the team as he stepped up at both ends of the court whenever the team needed him to. With the player entering free agency this offseason, NBA rumors have linked him with a number of teams. Howard, though, has made it clear that he wants to stay with the LA Lakers but believes that he deserves to get better wages going forward. The Lakers are already relatively low in cap space. However, Dwight Howard being an important role player for the franchise, it remains to be seen if the LA Lakers do enough to re-sign the player for the 2020-21 NBA season. And that will conclude the video. Let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. With that being said, I am out.